Hi, I think you know that Minecraft has long stopped being just a game where you survive, gather resources, and kill the dragon. It has clearly become something much bigger. With the introduction of Redstone, it turned into a game where you can build almost anything. And believe me, that's not an exaggeration. Some players even started specializing in redstone circuits, inventing their own mechanisms and dedicating years of their lives to it. And today I'll tell you about 10 of the most incredible mechanisms ever built in Minecraft. From 3D printers to real neural networks running directly inside the game. Make yourselves comfortable. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's begin. Chungus 2 is an invention by the player Sam Uri, who spent 7 months working on it. It's an 8-bit processor running at a clock speed of 1 Hz. It's so complex that it can execute programs written in its own assembly language. It even has its own specifications: 256 bytes of RAM, a 32 by 32 graphical display, and support for games like Tetris, Snake, Breakout, and even basic graphical rendering. This project is absolutely incredible, and most importantly, it's not a simulation, but a real processor architecture. Instead of transistors, it uses redstone torches and repeaters to create and, or, and not logic gates. The processor is divided into stages: instruction fetch, decode, execute, allowing different parts of a program to be processed simultaneously. This project was created in 2021, almost 5 years ago, but it still amazes people today. The graphing calculator is a mechanism that allows you to input mathematical equations and visualize them in 3-dimensional space directly inside the game. It uses extremely complex algorithms to calculate X, Y, and Z coordinates and display them on a screen made of lamps. The creator of this project is Matt Batwings. The hardest part is converting the decimal numbers entered by the player into binary code and then into screen coordinates. It features redstone chains that add bits together, massive modules spanning hundreds of blocks that calculate function values, and even the Bresenum algorithm to draw lines between points on the lamp-based display. I can't even imagine what level of knowledge is required to build something like this in a game that was never meant for such projects. This project was also made about 4 years ago and is even older than the previous one. Yet it became less popular, though in my opinion, it's no less impressive. The Uncensored Library is a massive architectural project created to fight censorship. It stores articles by journalists from countries where their work is banned. It was created by the studio Blockworks in collaboration with the organization Reporters Without Borders. The library contains over 12.5 million blocks. The articles are presented as ordinary in-game books. There are no complex redstone circuits here. The main idea is bypassing digital censorship through game mechanics. The library uses the book and quill mechanic. In Minecraft, book text is stored in the server's region files. Since Minecraft is allowed in many countries where Google or news websites are blocked, players can join the server and read banned articles directly from in-game books. To prevent this massive structure from crashing your computer, the creators used chunk optimization. The library is divided into sectors by country: Russia, Egypt, Mexico, etc., and each sector only loads when a player is nearby. Essentially, this is a real library accessible to almost anyone in the world, regardless of where they live. And this method of bypassing censorship is completely legal. The hard drive is a mechanism that uses physical blocks to store binary information. It was created by the player Smelly String and has a capacity of 1 kilobyte. There's also a 4 kilobyte version, created by ZOGJ. Even after reading about it, I still don't fully understand how it works. Basically, this disk uses redstone to power pistons that represent true and false binary values, ones and zeros. By arranging a large number of pistons to direct redstone signals between solid and transparent blocks in a loop, the 1 kilobyte hard drive can store data in binary form, using solid blocks as ones and transparent blocks as zeros. This hard drive can store anything: text, images, whatever you want. To create something like this, you need an incredibly high level of intelligence, because I can't even explain how it works in simple words, let alone build it myself. mcyt is not a single mechanism, but an entire server turned into one gigantic resource harvesting machine. The technical server mcyt created a system that automatically gathers almost every available resource in the game on an industrial scale. It consists of thousands of mechanisms working in unison, extracting millions of blocks per hour by exploiting flaws in the game's code. The project is created by the mcyt group, led by Ilmango. This server is truly one of a kind. It works roughly like this. Players create so many block updates per second that the game breaks and stops registering other events. This allows, for example, nether portals to remain active without obsidian frames. There's also a bug involving rails and pistons that enables infinite generation of prime TNT, allowing the construction of quarries that clear millions of blocks all the way down to bedrock. The video player, also known as Bad Apple, is one of the cleverest ways to trick the game engine. In Minecraft, a map held in a player's hand displays a 128 by 128 block area. Video playback is achieved by constantly swapping maps inside item frames. The mechanism instantly changes blocks over a huge area beneath the map using pistons or carpet swapping, causing the image on the map to update and creating a cinematic frame-by-frame effect. I couldn't find a clear demonstration of the mechanism, but that's roughly how it works. The Mega Robot, Megatitan, is a walking machine controlled from the inside, capable of moving and shooting. It was created by Cube Hamster. It's based on flying machine technology using slime blocks and pistons, which allows structures to move without command blocks. This technology is quite popular and well known among players. Compared to other mechanisms in this video, it might not seem as mind-blowing, but no one had built anything like it before. The coolest part is that it's actually possible to build a robot like this in survival mode, if you're willing to put in the effort. You could call it a more people's mechanism. The creator even made tutorials on how to build it. The 3D printer is a machine that scans a small object and recreates it at a larger scale in the game. It was created by Eagle Mcraft and works on the same principles as a real 3D printer. A line of observer sensors passes through the object. If a block is detected, a signal is stored in memory. The printer uses programmable memory to store object blueprints. Pistons then push blocks, usually sand or gravel, out of a massive storage system. The gravel falls down, forming layers of the object. This isn't the most complex mechanism, but it's fully functional and genuinely replicates the working principle of a real invention. Redstone Pro is a full-fledged drawing tool with an interface similar to real operating systems, a mechanism that imitates Photoshop. The user can draw on a huge screen using tools like a brush, fill tool, and even a layer system. Everything is implemented purely with Redstone logic circuits. Mumbo Jumbo popularized such projects, while Matt Batwings brought this one to life. Here's how it works. Instead of running around flipping levers, the player controls a cursor on the screen using a coordinate system. When you press the brush button, the signal goes to a memory register that stores the current mode. The layer system is the most complex part. It's essentially several massive RAM arrays stacked on top of each other. If layer 2 is active, its signal passes through an OR logic gate and is displayed on top of layer 1. The touch panel works by having the player stand on pressure plates or press buttons in a control cabin, which the system decodes into drawing commands for a remote display. ChatGPT is arguably the absolute peak of technical Redstone today. Its creator, Samyuri, the same person who built the processor, created not just a calculator, but a structure that imitates how a neural network works. At its core, are matrix multipliers. In real neural networks, these are mathematical operations with weights. In Minecraft, this is implemented using thousands of memory cells that store weights as signal values. The model uses massive data sets stored as block combinations that are read when a word is entered. When you input a word, the mechanism converts it into a vector, a set of numbers, processes it through layers of neurons, adders, and outputs the most likely next word. The project is so massive that it has over 5 million parameters. It's literally a computing cluster the size of several cities inside the game. After this, it's hard to say that Minecraft isn't a programming language. I think after this video, many people will look at Minecraft in a completely different way. And with that, I'll be wrapping up the video. Write in the comments which mechanism impressed you the most. Thanks everyone for watching. Good luck and goodbye.